Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Shed Adventure. Well, what have I got for you today? Well, we're going out. Look, I have my welly boots and I have my thick coat on. We are going trig bagging. Yep, I can see the excitement in your faces already. What is that? Well, go to trigbagging.co.uk and you will find out everything you want to know. However, come along with me and in the next 10-15 minutes I will explain everything you need to know about trig bagging and today's adventure. I'll see you out on the hill. Bye bye now. Here we are. I don't know how much interference we're getting from the wind, so I might have to narrate this back in the car. But here we have a trig point. So what is this all about? Well, this is how the Ordnance Survey in the 30s, I think around 1936 right up to 1965, I think, surveyed the whole of England by using good old trigonometry. If you have a baseline, a known baseline, and you have known points, you can get the height and the distance just by using basic trigonometry. So, scattered all over England, mainly on high points, there were 6,500. I understand there's 5,500 still in place today. And the reason I mentioned the trigbaggers.co.uk is because in the good old British fashion of being a little bit doolally, there's a whole website and a whole bunch of people that use their walks around England, because generally these are in fantastic places, normally high places like this, and they use that as a good excuse to go walking. And there's people who are trying to bag all 5,500, or at least a reasonable number of them anyway. So, a few interesting points about this. So what you would do is you would place a thelodolite in the top here. There's a lovely inlaid bit of brass which you screw the thelodolite into, and the cover, being England, has been removed, which is a bit sad. Interestingly enough, just like an iceberg, there is as much trig point, in fact more trig point under the ground than there is here. This has been properly well built, properly levelled off, because the accuracy they require is obviously very, very high. So from here, on a clear day, not today, you can see that we're at the highest point, and you'd be able to take your thelodolite and triangulate all the angles in the surrounding area between all the other high points and the other trig points. And that is the start and the basis of a map. So there we go, trig bagging. I've got the local rozzers turning up because I'm stood in the middle of Salisbury Plain training area, and they probably want to know what I'm doing here. So I will go and talk to them, and I'll see you back at the car. So I just noted this on the side of the trig point, which is of interest. So what you will see, for those that saw my video of my house and our benchmark on the side, our line that levelled off our village with the tide gauge and told us how high we were above sea level, you can see that arrow, that ministry arrow in the middle that shows this is government. You can see the OS, and you can see a date of 1939. So this was put in 1939, and I can tell you that we're 139 metres above sea level here, because that's what it says on the map. And if you heard a big bang there, that's our friends from Ukraine training with the British Army. Good. There we go. I'll leave you with that little tidbit. Bye-bye now. So, there we are. We're back in Shed HQ. I'm sorry about the sound quality out there with the wind. And I just needed to do a few corrections on my facts. 1936 to 1962 was actually when they were building the trig points all over England. Yes, 5,500 still standing and 6,500 originally. And that's what created the 125 Ordnance Survey maps all over the UK. And trigbaggers.co.uk, TRIGBAGGING, Trig Bagging, sorry, trigbagging.co.uk. And they have a map of every single trig point where it is. If you look at an Ordnance Survey map, it's a little triangle like that, blue triangle with a dot in the middle. And that's where they would have, as I said, put their floodlight and taken off their various bearings. Now, I am no trigonometry expert. I'm no maths expert. My school was given a certificate of merit by the government. It was fully approved, I think. So my education was not great. So what do I know about trigonometry? The only thing I know about trigonometry is linked to sailing. So if you sail around the UK, anything that's high, like a mast or a lighthouse, appears on the chart with a height. And the interesting bit of trigonometry I know is that if you know a height, which is given on the chart, and if you're out here and you can measure the angle to the top, this is basic trigonometry, so you know that angle, you know that height, we're talking triangles obviously, you can work out that distance. So why is that important and why is that possible? Well, on the boat, hopefully, you've got a sextant, and a sextant will measure an angle, give you the angle. So you've got this height off the chart, you've got that angle, and you can, because there's a little table in the nautical almanac, the big thick almanac you have that gives you all your tide times and all your tide tables. There's a table that will then tell you with that height and that angle what that distance is. And if you're there with your compass, you can take a bearing on the lighthouse, draw a big line across the chart, and then because you know you can triangulate that distance, you know where you are on that line, and you can get a super accurate fix off a lighthouse or any other tall object that the chart gives you the height of, if you can take the angle with the sextant. So that's what I know about trigonometry. But of course, if you put all that sideways and flat and get your floodlight on your lovely trig point, you can then do all this triangulation to all these points and get distances and heights worked out. All very clever, way beyond me. So I hope you like that very quick exercise on trig points. Go out this weekend, find yourself some, have a walk to them. They're normally in great places, high places. So there's normally fantastic views, and do yourself a bit of trig bagging. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you very shortly. Have a fabulous weekend, everyone. Bye-bye now.